Hi everyone, welcome back to Wilde Reads. My name is Dave. I need your help. My TBR pile has grown enormously, probably in the last couple of months. Now, this video is going to be a TBR 5-star prediction video inspired by the one and only Mercedes over at MercysBookishMusings, who was herself inspired by Lauren from Lauren and the Books. So I'm going to give you a load of books that I think I'm going to give 5 stars to, but I need your help. If you've read them, tell me which ones I should read and which ones I maybe should miss. Roll the titles. Hi everyone, welcome back. As I said in the introduction, I need your help. I have a big pile of books here that I think possibly could be 5-star reads, but I need your help because a lot of you out there would have read these books. So what I'd like you to do at the end of this video, I'm going to invite you to comment in the downstairs section down here and tell me which ones I'm definitely going to give 5 stars to and which ones you gave 5 stars to. Should we get on with the books? I think we should, because there's quite a few to get through. Oh, that's a glare. Let's try and make that not glary. There we go. Andrew Taylor, Ashes of London. I shall read the blows. I'm going to do this like a book haul, but a lot of these books I've owned for a considerable amount of time. So what we'll do, we'll go through the books. I'll read you the blurb. Here we go. A City in Flames, London, 1666. As the Great Fire consumes everything in its path, the body of a man is found in the ruins of St Paul's Cathedral, stabbed in the neck, thumbs tied behind his back. A woman on the run. James Marwood, the son of a traitor, is forced to hunt the killer through the city's devastated streets. There he encounters a determined young woman who will stop at nothing to secure her freedom. A killer seeking revenge. When a second murder victim washes up in the Fleet Ditch, Marwood is drawn into the political and religious intrigue of Westminster and across the path of a killer with nothing to lose. Now, this is obviously set during the time of the Great Fire of London in 1666, and it's supposed to be very, very good. So I'm thinking that's possibly a 5-star read, but if you've read it, let me know. The second book I have here, this is Michael Faber, The Crimson Petal and the White. Now, over the years, I've owned 3, maybe 4 copies of this. I've had it in hardback, I've had it in trade paperback, I've got it on Kindle, I've just got it all over the place. But this is a particularly lovely edition of it. Now, it's a bit of a brick, it is a bit of a chunkster. It runs to some 850 odd pages, but I have started this before, back in another lifetime, a long time ago. And I really enjoyed what I read up to a point which I stopped. And this is Step into Victorian London and meet our heroine, Sugar, a young woman trying to drag herself up from the gutter any way she can, and the host of unforgettable characters that make up her world. Now, I got about 100 pages into this many moons ago. You would have heard from the blurb. It's about Sugar, who's a Victorian prostitute living in Victorian London. And it was the bit I read was fabulous, and I can't for the life of me think why I actually did not finish this book. I am fairly certain that I'm going to 5-star this book, but this is a 5-star prediction video, so I'm going to say that because I think I'm going to 5-star all these books. But I want you to tell me what did you do with these books if you've read them. So yeah, so Michael Faber, The Crimson Petal and the White, published by Canongate. The next book is The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood. Now, I've got a complaint already about this book, because you know these stickers that bookshops put on these books? Have the stickers got stickier nowadays? Because I remember a time when you used to just be able, the stickers that bookshops, and Waterstones especially, are guilty of this. They flood the front of their books with stickers. And you used to just be able to just get a nail under it and they just flick off. Now, I mean, you almost have to get the decorating tools out to get the bloody things off. and it makes a right mess of your covers, and the longer you leave them on for, the harder they are to get off. So bookshop stickers, are they getting stickier? A question for a debate video. So this is Margaret Atwood, The Heart Goes Last, and this says Stan and Charmaine are a married couple trying to stay afloat in the midst of economic and social collapse. Living in their car, surviving on tips from Charmaine's job at a dive bar, they're increasingly vulnerable to raving gangs and in a rather desperate state. So when they see an advertisement for a project in the town of Constellance, a social experiment offering stable jobs and a home of their own, they sign up immediately. All they have to do in return for this suburban paradise is give up their freedom every second month, swapping their home for a prison cell. At first all is well, but slowly, unknown to the other, Stan and Charmaine develop a passionate obsession with their counterparts, the couple that occupy their home when they are in prison. Soon the pressures of conformity, mistrust, guilt and sexual desire take over. Looks less like a prayer answered and more like a chilling prophecy fulfilled. A sinister, wickedly funny novel about a near future in which the lawful are locked up and the lawless roam free. The Heart Goes Last is Margaret Atwood at her heart-stopping best. Now the next book, or the next books, are something that I've mentioned before on these videos, and I am very, very late to the party with. Kate Atkinson is probably best known for her novels A God in Ruins and Life After Life, which I have here. So I have both of these books, but they are in rather lovely, gorgeous hardcover format. I do tend to bash books around quite a bit when I'm reading them, especially if I take them to work to read. I don't really like carting hardcovers around because they get bashed up, and I don't want to bash them up because they're gorgeous. I've heard excellent things about this, and I've heard excellent things about this. But the thing is, some people like this one and not this one, and some people like this one but not this one. I suspect I'm going to like them both. If you've read them, if you've read either of these, let me know. I'm not going to read them in this edition because these are going to stay all lovely and cosy on the shelf like this. So, what I've got is these editions. God in Ruins, Life After Life, in their paperback editions. So I'm going to be reading these, and I suspect that either one of these, or indeed both of these, is going to be getting a 5-star review from Wilde Reads. Because I know there are lots of people out there that have read both of these. So what did you think? Let me know. Let me know. You will see from this video that these are all very, very well-known books. So the next one is also a double from the same author. Wolf Hall and Bringing Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel, or Hilary Mantel. I nearly got round to reading this when it came out a few years ago, and I nearly got round to reading this one a little while ago, but I haven't as yet, and I've been building up these big, hyped, big books for some time. I will get round to reading them. So obviously Wolf Hall, shortlisted for the Orange Prize 2010 and the 2009 Costa Novel Award. Obviously this won the Booker. It is the backdrop to the rise and rise of Thomas Cromwell, low-born boy, charmer, bully, master of deadly intrigue, and finally most powerful of Henry VIII's courtiers. So Wolf Hall, and then obviously the follow-up, which is Bringing Up the Bodies, and I do believe this is going to be a trilogy, isn't it? So there's obviously going to be a third part. So this won the Man Booker Prize in 2012 and the Costa Book of the Year in 2012. Bring Up the Bodies, do you know what? I always thought that was bringing up the bodies, and it's not. It's Bring Up the Bodies. So Bring Up the Bodies unlocks the darkly glittering court of Henry VIII, where Thomas Cromwell is now Chief Minister, with Henry captivated by plain Jane Seymour and rumours of Anne Boleyn's faithlessness whispered by all. Cromwell knows what he must do to secure his position, but the bloody theatre of the Queen's final days will leave no one unscathed. Again, if you've read both of these, or if you've read either one of these, then please let me know. I have another double, Donna Tartt, and we have Donna Tartt, The Little Friend, and The Goldfinch, both hugely respected books, hugely well known. The Goldfinch Aged 13, Theo Decker, son of a devoted mother and an absent father, miraculously survives a catastrophe that otherwise tears his life apart. Alone and rudderless in New York, he is taken in by the family of a wealthy friend. Theo is tormented by longing for his mother, and down the years he clings to the thing that most reminds him of her, a small, captivating painting that ultimately draws him into the criminal underworld. That is such a good design, because I always think it is actually ripped, and I'm always going like this to try and smooth it over. But of course that's the cover design. And then we have obviously Donna Tartt, Little Friend. This has got a good little cover. Look at that. I like this. Anyway, 12-year-old Harriet is doing her best to grow up, which is not easy as her mother is permanently on medication. Her father has silently moved to another city, and her serene sister rarely notices anything. All of them are still suffering from the shocking and mysterious death of her brother Robin 12 years earlier, and it seems to Harriet that the family may never recover. So, inspired by Captain Scott, Houdini and Robert Louis Stevenson, she sets out with her only friend, Hilary, to find Robin's murderer and punish him. But what starts out as a child's game soon becomes a dark and dangerous journey into the menacing underworld of a small Mississippi town. All these books seem absolutely brilliant. Actually, I don't know how long. By the time all these books go together, there's a good couple of months reading here. So I'm not going to read them all at once, because I've got loads of things coming up. I've got a couple more books as well. But eventually, when I get through all of these, I'm going to make another video, whether it be in a year's time or 6 months' time or whenever. And we'll see just how many books I gave 5 stars to. But on with the next. We've got 4 more to go. Hang in there. Might be a good time to pause and go and make yourself a cup of tea. Or a gin. Whatever you prefer. So the next 2 books are from another single author. And this is from Barbara Kingsolver. And we have winner of the Orange Prize, Flight Behaviour. And we've also got the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. And so the Poisonwood Bible, I'll go for this one first. So, told by the wife and 4 daughters of Nathan Price, a fierce evangelical Baptist who takes his family in mission to the Belgian Congo in 1959, the Poisonwood Bible is the story of one family's tragic undoing and remarkable reconstruction over the course of 3 decades in post-colonial Africa. They carry with them all they believe they will need from home, but soon find that all of it, from garden seeds to scripture, is calamitously transformed on African soil. The Poisonwood Bible shows what happens when one of the most talented writers of our generation comes to maturity. Now, I've heard brilliant things about this book, so I'm really keen to find out if I'm going to give it 5 stars. And the Flight Behaviour, also by Barbara Kingsolver, and also we've got Flight Behaviour there, which I'm really looking forward to reading. So the last 2, the last 2 on my list are from Johnathan Franzen, and we have The Corrections and we have Freedom. The Corrections and Freedom. Now, I know The Corrections made a hell of a storm when it came out. The Lamberts, Enid and Alfred, and their 3 grown-up children are a troubled family living in a troubled age. Alfred is slowly losing his mind to Parkinson's disease, and as his condition worsens and the Lamberts are forced to face the secrets and failures that haunt them, Enid sets her heart on gathering everyone together for one last family Christmas. So that is The Corrections by Johnathan Franzen. And then we have Freedom by Johnathan Franzen. So this is the story of the Berglunds. Berglunds. Their son Joey, their daughter Jessica, and their friend Richard Katz. It is about how we use and abuse our freedom, about the beginning and ending of love, teenage lust, the unexpectedness of adult life, why we compete with our friends, how we betray those closest to us, and why things almost never work out as they should. It is a story about the human heart and what it leads to, and what it leads us to do to ourselves and each other. So that's not The Corrections, that's Freedom by Johnathan Franzen. So we have, how many books have we got? We've got 13 books there. 13's a very unlucky number. I can't leave that hanging. We have got 13 books there. I'm going to have to get another one. I can't leave it on 13. I can't leave it to chance, because if I leave it on 13, there is the very great possibility that I may not 5-star any of those books, and this video will end up being a pointless exercise. So I'm going to pick one more. Hang on there. I have picked one more book to make it 14. And the book that I have picked is A Place Called Winter by Patrick Gale. A privileged elder son and stammeringly shy Harry Kane has followed convention at every step. Even the beginnings of an illicit, dangerous affair do little to shake the foundations of his muted existence, until the shock of discovery and the threat of arrest cost him everything. Forced to abandon his wife and child, Harry signs up for emigration to the newly colonised Canadian prairies, remote and unforgiving. His allotted homestead is a place called Winter, is a world away from the golden suburbs of turn-of-the-century Edwardian England. And yet it is here, isolated in a seemingly harsh landscape under the threat of war, madness and an evil man of undeniable magnetism, that the fight for survival will reveal in Harry an inner strength and capacity for love beyond anything he has known before. So that is my 14th book. So I don't have to keep it on 13. There was quite a lot there. So what do you think? What do you think? And I'm going to list all the books down there, so you can have a look. You can have a look at what books I've listed. I've really enjoyed making this video. Actually, it's been one of the really good ones. So thank you to Mercedes for giving me the idea to do it. Well, that was it. It's about time I ended this video, because I can see pre-edit, not post-edit, pre-edit. This video is running at nearly 25 minutes, which is far too long. We'll see how concise I can chop it up into little bits and serve it to you on Sunday when this video is going to be published. So until I see you again, whatever you're doing, enjoy your books, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.